Now, what is the mind? Most psychologists and psychiatrists are not able to pinpoint कि mind क्या है, ये brain के अंदर है या ये पूरी body में है. A lot of people cannot agree on this. I know this might come as a surprise to you. Where exactly does the mind reside? Or is the mind actually the soul? Let's talk about some misconceptions about happiness because मैं बहुत ये line सुनती हूँ आजकल. The pursuit of happiness. You know, the purpose of life is pursuit of happiness or pursuit of success. And happiness के लिए ये, the happiness factor, happiness this, happiness that. And so everybody seems to be talking about happiness. Everybody seems to be running after happiness. And yet very few people seem to have happiness. We know that depression, anxiety, mental disorders, all of those mental health issues are skyrocketing, and yet we continuously keep talking about happiness. ये आपने cartoons में देखा होगा ना कि गाड़ी के पीछे carrot लगी हुई है और bunny rabbit जो है वो उसके पीछे भाग रहा है. So we are constantly running after this carrot, but none of us seems to be able to get the carrot. And that's because the pursuit of happiness is kind of an oxymoron. It doesn't really work that way. जिस चीज़ को pursue as such किया जाता है तो वो इसी तरह आपसे भागती रहती है. Happiness is actually, what I say, it's a choice. You can be happy right now. Okay, how is that possible? Happiness में देखें दो factors हमें देखने पड़ेंगे. Number one ये है कि happiness can also be because of certain conditions in the brain. I'm talking about the organ that sits in the skull, the brain. So जब जो लोग depression में होते हैं उनके जब MRI scans किए गए हैं तो बाकायदा देखा गया है कि those centers which control happiness are hypoactive, not hypoactive, which means their activity level is very, very low. Therefore, they are feeling depressed. So, ये है physiological reason of not feeling happy. यानी आपकी physiology में कोई गड़बड़ हो गई है और उसकी वजह से आपका जो brain है, that is not functioning the way it is functioning. So, that's called a dysfunction. अच्छा, दूसरा लेकिन हमारा एक माइंड भी होता है. Now, what is the mind? Most psychologists and psychiatrists are not able to pinpoint कि माइंड क्या है, ये ब्रेन के अंदर है या ये पूरी बॉडी में है. A lot of people cannot agree on this. I know this might come as a surprise to you. Where exactly does the mind reside, or is the mind actually the soul? So we basically have to look at the spiritual aspect of happiness as well. और इसमें हमें कुरान क्या कहता है? The purpose for which man was created was to know God. Simple as that. कि जिस purpose के लिए बनी आदम को create किया था, वो pursuit of happiness नहीं था, वो था to know God. Because when we get to know God, when we get to understand God, when we get to connect with God, actually that brings us happiness. That is what brings that contentment, which Quran mentions is contentment. So interestingly, आपसे quickly share कर देती हूँ कि जब ये study कर रहे थे MRI scans की brain की, जिसमें वो मैंने आपको बताया था कि those happiness centers were hypoactive, they also saw कि people that meditated regularly on compassion, their happiness centers were hyperactive. यानी वो बहुत the size were bigger and there was a bigger activity going on in those centers. So meditation on compassion. अब वो meditation on compassion, it could be जिस तरह जब मैं आप लोगों से कहती हूँ कि focus on Allah Ta'ala's love and mercy. Imagine that Allah Ta'ala is your best friend. He is constantly, His love is constantly surrounding you. You could do a meditation like that because compassion will help your brain centers to calm down and let the happiness level go up. Or you can also focus on compassion for others. And this, I can tell you, is the faster way of actually bringing happiness into your life. When you help others, when you do good, you actually are not only focusing on compassion, you are acting in compassion. This is going to help your brain recover and you will actually get happier faster. So in closing, number one, try to continuously work on your connection with Allah Ta'ala so that it stays strong and you can stay in contentment. Number two, focus on compassion. Allah Ta'ala's compassion and love for you, वो रहमान है, वो रहीम है, उससे कनेक्ट हो. और फिर तीसरा, उसके बंदों के लिए रहमत बने. हमें बताया गया है, नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने कहा है, मर्सी उसी को मिलती है जो खुद मर्सीफुल होता है. मैं ज़ाहिर है पैराफ्रेज कर रही हूँ. Mercy, whoever is merciful to others gets mercy. So he receives mercy. So be merciful to others, become compassion, receive compassion. Inshallah ta'ala, Allah ta'ala will give you happiness.